All right. While I was contemplating if I want to continue with this or not, I got to some conclusions. First, we need to talk about proportions. Very important in game because we cannot scale game assets to feed them. We need to scale our building to fit the game assets. Uh, what that means is there's very important aspects of how you're going to be interacting with the world, which means a pad needs the building needs to the stairs need to be a certain size for the pad to make sense of climbing up, have a realistic animation. Also, if the door is smaller or bigger than the area where it's supposed to access, it's just going to look weird. So let's match um, game assets, and you do that by accessing the what do we want to add? We need to add, hold on, where is it? Pad viewer. Actually, we can just do it with the door, right? Let's do that. Get a door, get the name of the door, and this is the website where you can actually search for stuff and import it. Use the RPF Explorer, get a door name, export your stuff, import it into game, import codeblocker, get the door, and as you can see the proportions are way off on the building that we made, because this is how big a door in game is. And select hierarchy, rotate on Z 90 degrees, and now we have to scale the building that we just made in a way that makes sense to the door, which also relates to the size of the pad. That being said, select the building, S to size, even more. Blender, what you doing? That's probably a more realistic view on how the door needs to be. To double check, select your door, press G, snap it to somewhere where you plan on adding doors, like so, and eyeball the area that the pad is about to access. So that's pretty close to how big we want the building to be. It's going to be quite huge, if you ask me. If a human is this big, that's how big the building is going to be. Which also gives us a perspective on how we want to set up the levels in here, right? We do not know what the building is going to be. It's either going to be a police station or a hospital or public relations or whatever. I do not know yet. But if it's the pet side is that big, I mean the building is that in proportion with the pet is so. So if the pet stays next to the window, is gonna have that. It's gonna be twice the distance from the floor to the ceiling is gonna be twice as tall as the pad is. So that kind of makes sense, right? The problem with that is that if we move this down to next to the stairs, the stairs themselves may be way too tall, the step itself. Because if this is, I don't know, elbow high, right? That's pretty much how humans open doors, and the handle of the door is kind of elbow high. That means the knee is about here, a little lower. But you never see steps big enough where you have to lift your leg that much. So the steps itself don't make that much sense. So we need to resize those to make it to halve it, maybe a little less than half. But we have a pretty good understanding on how big we can create the steps later. But proportionally speaking needs to look right. One other thing that you can add a vehicle, right? Import it. So this is a helicopter. If this is a police station, even a medical center, you kind of want whoever's piloting this to be able to land on top of the building. That would be nice. And that's how big the building is. They have all that space in here. Also means we can cut a door in here and in here to access the roof and the landing area from the top level where the glass is in here. The I don't know what do you call it, handrail. So yeah, that will be good to have in perspective on how big things are. Like so. Alright, let's do some basic texturing and create the collision for this so we can spawn it in game. First, hide everything except for the stuff that we work with. As you can see, if you do not see this on your Blender, go to this area and select statistics and extras, and that will tell you exactly how many what's the geometry like. Try not to go over 5,000. We're really good on this right now. That we have a little under 2,500 because it's very important. The moment you build lots and you have lights, you have shadows, you have people moving around with animations and all that stuff with vegetation and other pieces of furniture and assets. If you manage to keep the building poly count, the triangles down, that will be very helpful for the server and people are playing around. Otherwise, it's gonna lag. Everybody's gonna lag. Keep that in mind. All right, enough talking. Let's do I'll rename this exterior. And we're not going to be building an MLO. We're just going to be creating some collisions so we can stay on top of it and on this area in game. So MLO is going to be probably for another time. I don't know when I'm going to be having time to do that. But we will be basically, we will apply some basic texturing to this, and we will be creating the texture, the collisions. Sollumz. I already I took some buttons from Sollumz and put it in my toolbar. You can download the toolbar from my Discord. You have my Discord on the description, or you'll see it when I connect to the server, the code, the invite code. So Sollumz, prepare, convert. We have the collisions right here. We're gonna make it concrete. Concrete, yeah. Sollumz, collisions, material, tarmac, create, and then we will apply drawable, default. I'm gonna create let's play with multiple shaders, right? And go to shaders, cube. We're gonna create a default, name it main. Then we're gonna be creating some glass. I don't know if I want to create glass. If I create glass, we will see through the building and there is no interior to stop that from happening. I mean, seeing through the, it's gonna look weird. So we're gonna skip the glass, but we'll be creating some emissive. So expand this little thing in here, ms. And it's gonna be main emissive, then default, another default, and we'll be naming it roof. Then another default, create a stairs, and another default, create, we're gonna name it basic. It's not gonna be decals, it's gonna be lower building area. All right, let's start with main. Add textures, go with concrete. So it's science fiction, is gonna make it, I'm gonna keep it concrete, bright concrete. UV, smart UV projection, okay. A and assign. Object, apply, all transform. I hope it didn't clear my, no it didn't. Enter edit mode again, A, assign. but we have the collisions displaying, so we got to turn them off, hide them. Just hold shift and click the eye, so you can see the texture. The texture may be too bright. Let me change it. And that's a little better. So let's resize. All right, let's do the stairs. Stairs, assign. A slightly darker texture. Remove those vertices. Something like that. Let's do this area the same color. Select faces, select stairs, assign. Maybe we want to do the bottom too. Stairs, assign. Do the roof, choose a different texture. Select roof, assign, add a texture. Again, this is very basic, so you have an idea what's going on in here. I think it's fair that this areas and this alright, just doesn't want to select it the way I want it. It doesn't want to play along. Hold shift. select roof, assign. Then emissive, we're gonna do the rings around here, kind of blue, emissive blue. Let's add more detail. Bevel a little bit, like so, and only do those with emissive. So emissive, assign. Then add a texture for the emissiveness. I should have them on the glass. All right. Well, the geometry here is a bit odd, and we will join those two. And make this the same with the stairs. Stairs, assign, like so. Let's do this with emissive blue. Some fucking geometry in here. Yeah, in here too. I think it would be nice to have this area here framed with emissive blue. I'm thinking about making this a police station. We miss a facing here. So this is gonna be roof. All right. Number 2, edge. So we selected that edge around. Control B to bevel. And except for the bottom, which doesn't make any sense to be blue. Number 3, deselect those. And select emissive and assign. Whoa. Main, assign. Something like that. Pretty funky. I'm thinking about adding some darker texture for the windows, but not exactly. We're gonna make it opaque. So default, create shader material, gonna name it fake window. sign, and that's at a texture. What else we have in here? I do not know what to add. Okay, that's gonna look completely weird. Or maybe not. So with those selected, I can see it in a UV editor here. UV smart. Okay. Size. Rotate. Alright, so but it's not perfect. The top one aligned just fine, the bottom one did not. Looks more like a block of something. Yeah, this is the wrong texture. I need something with a tiny seam. No, this is wrong. Well, fuck. It takes me an hour to do a building and it takes me another hour just to do the windows. Textures. You know what? We'll go with that. It's gonna look like dog shit, but whatever. We're not trying to get a job at Rockstar, so there's that. I think because it has alpha, automatically created a, but this is not gonna look the same in game. The game needs the glass shader, which we're not gonna give it to, so. Right, so this is the basic texturing. We already have the collisions. Let's add the gaps for the door. One in here, one in here, two double door in here, and see what it looks like in game. Since this door has armature and all that stuff, we're just gonna create a block, a cube, to cut into our geometry and not worry about fucking up the door. So let's resize this cube to match the door. and move it in position. Like so. Also, we're gonna duplicate in this. Door cutter. So, whoops, we didn't duplicate that. Yes, we did. So we have two doors in here, two doors in here, probably one door in the back. Rotate Z 90 degrees. Set in position. We do not know exactly where the door, where the floor is going to be, but I suspect it's going to be level with the stairs. So let's edit the pivot, the origin. And perfectly align it with the stairs. Like so. Maybe a little higher. Alright. Let's duplicate this, create another door in here. Align it height-wise with the other one. So we now have 6 doors. I said we're gonna be creating a double door in here, so let's do that. Oh, I'm glad I see this. Gotta move it in, otherwise it's gonna cut through both meshes. Alright, get those two. Duplicate it right in there. Move them next to each other. Separate them by a very small distance, like 10 centimeters. And merge those two, join them, and edit mode. center it, then align with the cursor, then move it height-wise, and move it forward so we can see it. Edit origin, and realign it, then move it up a little bit so we create a the illusion of little tiny step. I'm not sure that I want to create doors on the side in here. Right, let's see what it looks like. So merge all the door cutters because they're already set in position. I'm just gonna cut through everything. Well, the building smash nut is not gonna cut through the collisions. It's not what we're trying to do. And I'm not sure this is gonna work. Add a boolean on a Sollumz type of a mesh. Let's see what's going on. Modifier, boolean, pick, dirt cutter, and apply. So I did cut through some, but not all of it. Backdoor cut. So the only thing that didn't cut through is the double door, but that's fine. Whoopsie, we didn't do this right. We fucked up. Separate origin. Right, I'm trying to figure out how far is from this corner, and the only way to do that is set the origin, oh you cocksucker, where are you? No. Like that. Snap it to the other one. Then pay attention to this area. It's gonna be 2.47, which means we're gonna be changing the origin from that side to the other side. Turn it off, move it to this corner, and move it on the Y 2.47, And we have perfect. No, we don't. So number 3, edit mode, separate. So this kind of shit happens if you don't plan properly. No, motherfucker, I'm trying to inline this one right here. Then tool, origin. And align it with the other one. Then join them. Then move them by this much. Let's see why we didn't have a cut through. Because they never reach the wall. Yep. So we should have a cut through with all that. Let's merge those again. And boolean, select the cutter and apply. Right on. We now have, we cut through all the meshes. Alright, let's remove the faces we don't need. They're already selected, some of them. I'm just gonna texture those in a darker color. Roof, assign. 4 out of 8 done. Two left. I want to make sure that I have good geometry, so I'm creating extra stuff in here so I don't run into issues. So this is gonna be merge and then roof. Assign one left. J, remove this, and then number 1, join those, then select edge and F, then 3, select the face and assign texture, save. So we have all the doors mapped out as we will probably want to add in the game. 2 doors here, 2 doors here, 2 doors at the roof, on the roof, and 2 doors at the back of the building. Alright, let's see if the export works now. We said that we have some issues on this area. But those are the collisions, so we don't care about that for now. We only care about the main geometry. Yep. Alright, let's take care of this one too. Select the face, delete, select the edge, dissolve, Control X. So we're still under 3000 triangles. So that's fantastic. Fantastic, because everything else pretty much is going to be a different mesh with decals and all that stuff. So let's move on. See if we can export this with no issues. So isotonic. Double checking that we do have everything, and also every single texture is going to be embedded. I don't want to go to the trouble of creating a dictionary. This is just a test. Select shader one by one and embed the texture. Select embed. Oh, we didn't use this one yet, so that's fine. Shall we use it? Have like a little bit of something else. Let's see if we can get a clean cut first. Hide the collisions. Number 3. Control R. Alright, let's go with that. So we create a series of edges and a series of vertices, and we're gonna be merging those. Number 2, number 1, select the vertices, 2 of them, press J, J. It's not a clean cut as I would like to, but it's still decent, mainly because we had good topology to start with. Otherwise this will be next to impossible to match it. Alright, let's clean up the geometry here a little bit. If you fail to create good geometry, you're gonna have a really hard time properly texturing your stuff. So number 3, see how it went all the way around? That means we have good geometry. Stairs, no, lower building, sign. This we're gonna find a granite, granite, not glass, concrete. Oh boy, this is edgy as fuck. Yeah, it's not exactly what I wanted. We'll find a new geometry shortly. 3. And lower sign. So with this face selected, go to mesh, select similar, similar. Material. So instead of selecting every single face every single time, I just do that. And we're gonna be changing the texture. Try to find something else. Ceiling concrete. Do we have tiles? Tiles. Granite. But this needs to be a lot smaller. So UV smart. Okay. AS. Hey, it's not perfect. Will do. As a test, will do. Right, Alex, let's just put down the mesh. We're already 1 hour in. Unhide everything under that. Select hierarchy. We need to embed this one too. Double check that everything is embedded. Otherwise, you will run into errors. We're good. And of course, it's complaining about something. Triangles, create poly triangles, out of range. What the fuck are you talking about? What is this stupid error? What IBN? There is no collision, separate file. Maybe because you use boolean. So collision, select your key, delete. I'm gonna ungroup this. And we're gonna delete this shit. trouble recreating the collisions from what we have here. So oh, motherfucker. Can you imagine? Oh, I'm in edit mode. No mesh object selected. Let's remove the shaders. Because this is a collision. Concrete. Clear and create. Alright, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Alright, let's see it in RPF Explorer. Alright, let's change the vertex color to so it doesn't glow at night. And do it again. Alright, the glow we're not interested in is gone. Let's alright, I'll pause the video and start a new one because we're already 1 hour and 6 minutes. See you on the next one.